Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to WildStar. Today we are doing a little bit more PvP. And by today, I mean whenever this was recorded yesterday. This is post-commentary again. I have just been kind of recording some random PvP matches, some PvE player versus the environment, some, you know, just normal dungeons and things like that. Those have not been going so well, so probably shouldn't expect to see one go up this week. Rough learning, very long queue times, not much success, which means it's time to actually find or assemble a good gold. Anyway, so I'm playing as my medic right now, level like 26, 27, something like that. So I've tiered up my skills, I've swapped them around a little bit. I'm playing with just an interesting build here. Checking out my cool robot self and the weird yellow glitter effect that I get from that skill. So I'm going to go through just kind of the build I was playing around with during these next couple of PvP matches. So I'm playing kind of a hybrid offensive healer sort of thing. Like, I'm focusing mostly on healing, but I do have a significant chunk of damage dealing abilities. So, from the left,
the battle has started.
The crying face skill thing, hotkey R, that is just my class innate, makes me stronger. Just harder, better, faster, stronger.
A secondary control point has been captured by the
It basically turns me into Daft Punk. It beefs up my offense, my assault power, and my support power. Here in the game, by the way, you're going to see me kind of bouncing around between the two side objectives. We are attacking, so I'm kind of trying to assist whichever side is overwhelming the other.
A secondary control point has been captured by the
You'll see me bouncing around a fair bit here at the beginning. Anyway, so first skill is just my standard auto attack, just my regular boring shoot little, like a little cone in front of me, melee attack skill thing. That's nothing new. The skill I have hotkeyed to 2, we'll come back to. So I have a stun, so I'm using it against the enemy there. I have 2 sets of probes. I have a healing probe. That's the chew noise that you're going to keep hearing constantly, forever and ever, anytime you play WildStar or watch a WildStar video. That's the medic's heal over time probe. It's actually pretty cool, pretty useful. It's a little yellow orbs you can see circling around folks too.
Double kill.
The skill that's hotkeyed to 2 is my shield restoration skill.
Triple kill.
I forget exactly what it's called, shield burst or something like that. It's very interesting in that it shoots in kind of just a big rectangle in front of me. It restores shield, which is very significant because that, you know, shields are good. I'll talk about that later when there's more nonsense happening on the screen that I don't need to talk about. It also does damage. So it restores shield of any allies caught in the blast, and it's, you'll see me use it. It's actually like my main offensive skill in these PvPs. There I just used it. It's actually a pretty awesome skill for both offense and defense. It consumes some of my focus, which is like our mana, for lack of a better term, for healers. So, like, I can't, like, in very long, drawn-out battles, that might be an issue. But I use it a lot. It's good for, you know, if I aim at an ally, that's awesome, because it restores their shields. If I hit an enemy, that's awesome, because it does damage. If there's an enemy and an ally, then, you know, it does both. Nothing wrong with that. It's actually really, really good for survivability. Healing is kind of clutch in PvP instances like this. So, from left to right, so we have my regular attack, we have my shield surge, which is what it's called, that I keep using. Number 3 is my stun. 4 are my offensive.
A secondary control point has been captured by
4 is my offensive drones.
A secondary control point has been captured
basically my counterpart to the healing drones that I can put on allies. They're little offensive probes. They circle around enemies and do damage to the enemies. And it's kind of insignificant, you know, 100 or 200 damage every couple of seconds. Like,
A secondary control point has been captured by the
It's really
exiles.
not much in the way of damage, but
Double kill.
you might be surprised. Every little bit helps in
Triple
PvP,
kill.
and since I'm mostly focusing on healing,
A secondary control point has been captured by
any
the
sort of
Dominion.
damage over time, any sort of extra damage that I can
A
just
secondary control
toss
point has
out
been
without
captured
having
by the
to
Dominion.
micromanage or to really think about, really, really handy. There are a couple of warriors that we're fighting against that keep using that dark ability, which is just what it looks like. You get blinded for a couple seconds, can't really see what's going on.
Control point has been captured by the Dominion.
Irritating, but not the worst thing in the world. So yeah, number 4 is the offensive probes.
Double
My
kill.
alt 1, my 5th skill there, I used it just a moment ago on that ramp. You'll see me use it a whole bunch. It's flash. It's
A secondary control point has been captured
on
by
like a
the Dominion.
15-second cooldown or something. Basically, it's just a massive heal in a radius around me, and it heals a boatload of people. It heals like any 9 folks that are near me. So basically, I can heal the entire PvP team that we have, the entire group. Now, since I finally hit level 25, I'm actually like level 27 or 28 or something in this PvP match.
A secondary
It
control
equalizes
point has been
everybody's
captured by
level
the
to
Dominion.
29 when you're in here. Anyway, since I finally hit that threshold of 25, that's where you gain the ability to kind of tier up your skills and make significant changes to them.
Double kill.
So my probes are upgraded. So, you know, they hover around people and they do little heals over time, and like that's nice. But if I use my flash skill, the other spiky heal,
Double kill.
it detonates the probes so that they don't do heal over time anymore, but they do a big spiky chunk of healing when they're detonated. So really, really good for kind of quick emergency heals. Like, I try to keep my probes on everyone as much as I can, and then you'll see me using the detonation skill to restore huge chunks of health to people all the time. Like that. Really, really handy. I'm really enjoying that as a medic. And then the final skill, the one I just used there, Restoration. It basically gives me a minor boost to my healing and damage dealing capabilities. But more importantly than that, it restores a good chunk of my focus, which is the bar that you see. There's 4 cube things, and then there's the bar. That bar represents my focus. The 4 cube things. Don't know if I've talked about this. Don't know if I've really shown off my medic, who's pretty gosh darn cool looking. You gotta admit. Look at that. Look at how awesome my robot is. Anyway. Medics are interesting. They're melee healer characters. I might have shown one off in some instance or something. They have those 4 actuators, and many of my skills consume those actuators. There, you just saw me detonate my healing probes again, just for fun. My shield surge ability consumes 2 actuators. My basic generic attack in a cone in front of me skill, every time I use that, it channels for like a second and a half or something, and restores 1 actuator if I let it run that whole time. So basically, I can use my shield surge twice, and then I'm out of actuators and I can't use it again. I have to store those actuators. See, you know, that's kind of the give and take. Every class has some sort of secondary resource like that. Some sort of main resource like that. That kind of controls how often they can use their more powerful skills. So Shield Surge is basically my finisher here, and I can only use it, you know, a couple of times. Without needing to restore more
A secondary
actuators.
control point has been captured by the exiles.
And then, of course, since I'm using Shield Surge as my main offensive attack, that means that I am also consuming the healer focus, that bar there, which is down to 93%, you'll see on the screen.
A secondary control point has been captured
Yeah,
by
it's
the
interesting. It's an
exiles.
interesting build. I've been kind of fiddling around with a bunch of different skills for PvP, trying to find stuff that I like, trying to find a good setup. I've been enjoying this particular setup that you see in the video quite a bit.
A secondary control point has been captured by the Dominion.
It's good because the way people move around, allies and foes alike, it's good to just aim into a group and know that, hey, if I hit allies, that's awesome, it restores their shields. And if I hit enemies, you know, then that's awesome because it does damage. And not really have to worry about it too much. Like, accuracy is still super important. It's not less important for me because of that skill, but like I have more options because I don't have to, like, if I miss an enemy and hit allies instead, like that's not a waste of the skill, and vice versa.
Secondary control point has been captured.
If I'm trying to heal my allies and they move out of the way and I end up hitting an enemy instead, like, yeah, okay, I'm still doing damage. Like, it's a really, really cool idea that medics can heal and hurt at the same time.
A secondary control point has been captured.
I'm actually a huge fan of that. And here we're defending, by the way. So our goal is just to kill enemies and keep them from activating
A secondary control point has been captured.
those two control points that are on the sides. I am playing on Dominion with this character, so we're the Dominion faction. Enemies are the Exiles. Yeah. That's about all there is to it. Just playing defense, healing up folks. Keep my probes on them as often as I can. Just kind of bouncing around, making sure that, you know, if enemies are attacking either of the two sides, I can help. I realize that since there's nobody on either of the two sides, then they're probably all in the middle, and lo and behold, here they are.
A control point has been captured by the Exiles. Double kill.
And here I'm basically just trying to screw around with a bunch of folks, delay as many people as much as possible, prevent them from attacking. When you're on defense, as soon as the attackers take over the main central control point, all the defenders get a skill, like a temporary ability, teleport to the next one that they're attacking, which is what I use to get back here so quickly. Just so that your defense is not completely shut out and, you know, give them a little bit more of an edge to try to stop the attackers. Make sure they're there to confront the opponent. This sort of situation is absolutely perfect for my shield surge because I'm able to heal my ally and also do damage to the enemy at the same time. Again, really, really awesome utility. And at this point, we're on the second of 3 sections that we need to defend, 3 control points, and there's only 20 seconds left in the match. So, yeah, this is going to be a pretty handy victory. We're going to stop the attackers. They're not going to beat us, so, you know, it's nice to be successful in PvP every now and then. Yeah, anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I'm still going to try to get some PvE, some dungeon or adventure or something coming up soon, but in the meantime, here you go. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Look at that, 2 kills, no deaths, as a healer. As the top healer, the best of healers.